So the Rare Americans have decided to take a swing in the indie animation game. You might have never heard of this band, but they're a Canadian band that kind of have this high school punk rock and the garage type vibe. Their songs often touch on topics like addiction and family abuse, as well as frustration with society and the man keeping people down. I've been listening to them passively since around 2022 when I was recommended Moss Park on one of my YouTube music playlists. They have a lot of really fun songs, the most popular of which, and arguably the one that has had the most impact on their band, being Brittle Bones Nicky. It's a real bop and I highly recommend that you give it a listen. What has stood out for me about the Rare Americans is their use of animation throughout their entire discography. You'll see that they have this kind of fast and loose angular art style. It kind of reminds me of the kind of sketches that you would see from a kid in school. I really kind of like it. I think it's very fun. Some highlights on their animation front for me include, of course, Brittle Bones Nicky, which has a very fast pace and clean transitions between different scenes of Nicky's life. And another great one is Hullabaloo, which follows an entry-level worker as he gets inducted into the Amazon Corporation and sees what a gross piece of shit Jeff Bezos is. I think it's a really fun touch to use the Dr. Seuss style in this. That was very fun. Their oldest animated short comes through from their first song, which is Cats, Dogs, and Rats, which is a completely different style from what would come after, but it's still a lot of fun to watch and a real bop of a song, so I highly recommend that you check that out too, as well as some of the other songs on the screen. Insofar as the Rare Americans have dipped into narrative, Crooked City is something that they've been working on for years, and you can absolutely see hints of it throughout their other music videos, but it's not their first official release. About April 2025, they had uploaded Skids, which is an indie animated movie that's kind of built around their album of the same name. It follows Scotty, who is a new transfer student in this Canadian Midwest type town from the 90s who is struggling to fit in and connect with a group of outcasts called Skids after refusing to join into a drug empire. Now, when you listen to the Rare Americans or watch any of their content, you can strongly feel the amateur experience of the songwriters, as well as the animation and the storytelling. This is very much a we care a lot about this topic and we want to talk about it through the medium of music kind of band. So you're not going to find a lot of polish in their work. They have some good songs, some meh songs, and some really, really rough tracks. But that's a big part of their appeal for me because it's not clean. They're going to serve you up some tracks and you'll love them or hate some of them, but you're gonna keep coming back because the music is authentic and genuine. You can especially tell that they're serious about this because the punk themes that they hit on, tied to the frustrations of one's station in life, bullying, doing the internal work to find yourself, as well as building community with others, distrust of corporations and authority figures, and kind of that youthful belief that you can take on the world if you have enough crazy bastards on your side. Seriously guys, go watch Skids, it's so much fun. And if you're a Rare Americans fan, definitely let me know your favorite track from any of their albums. I really, really like this band, so when I saw the Crooked City pilot drop, I immediately watched it. It's just 20 minutes on YouTube now, so you can watch it before continuing, but for now, I'll just give you a quick summary without any spoilers. We open with the main character, Jamesy Boy, recording a song in the studio. He gets a call from his producer who tells him none of his songs are hits and the label wants to use AI to create music with his voice. So we're already touching on something super topical with the wealthy utilizing AI to replace artists with formulaic content, which is less challenging and more likely to result in return on investments that executives are looking for. I don't know how many of you are looking into what AI is doing in the music industry, but Suno AI is absolutely disgusting in what it has done to so many small artists. Not to mention, it's ruined my lo-fi on YouTube. Seriously, I fucking hate it. Anyway, Jamesy and his dog Alfie are teleported through a mysterious portal created by these evil-looking crows, and they end up in what is essentially a Zootopia-type world where everybody is a furry and have no idea what humans are. And of course, they end up in a weed farm because weed is super cool and fun. For context, the Rare Americans mascot is this chill horse Alfred who's always smoking weed. Anyway, Jamesy and Alfie make quick friends with these people and hang out with them, and we learn a little bit more about their view of the world. Apparently this crow called Sneakerson, can you tell he's the bad guy? Apparently, he's ruining the natural way of life of the people here by inserting technology into their lives and shitting on their old music in favor of the humans that he's teleported over to their world. It's all under his tech that he calls the platform, which is very fun and kind of bashing you over the head with the point that this is the bad guy. And just to make it clear that he's the bad guy, we even see him schmoozing with this pink elephant in order to rezone a historic cultural area for further technological expansion, prioritizing power over the community's needs. So that's kind of the setup for Crooked City, and it's very in line with what any Rare Americans fan is expecting. I'm certainly excited for the next episode. Now, as far as criticisms go, I hope that they tighten up the music significantly. I wasn't really vibing with any of it throughout the pilot, which isn't rare for me. I'm admittedly a very picky person when it comes to what I listen to, so I think that Jamesy's music wasn't good at all, and the way that the story draws attention to it just kind of dug into that for me. Like, the very first scene with Jamesy is a call out of how artists are being unfairly replaced by AI. The bit of music that we hear isn't great, but it's not terrible, it's just kind of meh. And the narrative agrees with that assessment by poking at Imagine. So for me, I'm seeing this and thinking the narrative will talk about how technology can be used negatively, like with the label, but also calling out artists to not avoid criticism for their work, kinda trying to hit at the nuance of a situation like this. But then the narrative brings this back up again when Jamesy is talking to Alfred, and Alfred offers honest critique. What Jamesy sings is worse than what we heard at the beginning of the pilot. It starts out okay, and then enters this droning lilt that just repeats the same couple lines. It's boring, it's not fun to listen to.
The symptoms that I fear. Is it them, is it them, is it me, is it me, is it them, is it them, is it me? Is it me, is it me, is it them, is it them, is it me, is it me, is it them?
It's followed by complete silence, and only Jamesy's loyal dog Alfie is supporting him, so I assume that this is the point where Crooked City hits on the story beats of the musician having to come to terms with his shortcomings and using that to improve his work. But no, that's not exactly what we get. The writer is telling me that this is actually really deep and good.
I don't know any machine that can do that. What's it about anyways? Shit's deep.
I personally don't think it is, as someone who has listened to the full track, but I'm fine with going along with what the narrative says in order to enjoy the show. Another point I'm mixed on for this is the ending music, because it's not that great either. Like, I can see how they're juxtaposing this corpo-approved music, which is extremely sexual and intense in comparison to the more calm, natural flow that we saw Crooked City natives enjoyed in the beginning. And I like the juxtaposition, but the vocals just weren't great either. They were kind of flat. To be clear though, I'm not a musician, so I can't exactly explain the functional reason why these songs didn't resonate with me, just that I didn't like them. You might actually think this was pretty good, and your opinion would be just as legitimate as mine, because, I mean, we're just fans here, right? I think the Crooked City pilot is a fun idea, and definitely a mixed bag, but I'm looking forward to seeing what the Rare Americans do with it. These guys aren't chumps. They've proven again and again that they're very competent musicians with a lot of creativity and spirit. I think the pilot was rough, but that's kind of the point of a pilot. So what are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments, check it out, subscribe to the Rare Americans, listen to their music, buy their merch, they're so good, I really love these guys. Okay, bye!